All right, lesson 14 is open now, and this is where you are creating your animated scene. Some of you may not have started, some of you are in the process, but I want to reiterate and show you some examples so that you make sure you're hitting all of the criteria. Okay, so first thing, at least 3 sprites. One of them can be a background, so in a sense, that's not different from what you've done before. 3 sprite properties, and I want that spread across more than one sprite. The thing is, you're going to make things move and animate, and so this probably will end up just naturally happening. Okay. 1 line of text. The last couple you've had to use 2. This one you only need 1 line of text, but make sure that you program size bigger than 12 and a color using the fill command. And at least 2 movements. You can certainly have more. One has to be utilizing a random number. That will be the shaky or bouncy kind of movement. And one using the counter pattern, which is just a fancy way to say use some math, either adding or subtracting to create a smooth movement on the screen. So let me show you some examples, and then I think you will see what we're talking about here. Okay? Actually, let's go right here. So this is the example that they show you at the first level of lesson 14. You'll notice that this green alien is floating up the screen. That's using math. The blue alien is shaking. The text is also moving, and I'll throw in the instructions in case you want to make your text move. It's a little different because it's not an actual sprite, okay? But you get the idea. Next, take a look at this one. Now, this one doesn't look like there's much going on here. I see a wolf. The text is kind of hard to see with a big ow, kind of that howl thing. Lots of sprites. This one had lots of stars individually programmed. And then the one thing that is moving is this star, which is utilizing a random number with its X position. So it gets a little bit of that jerky movement. Kind of cool. This one, and by the way, these are some that students have made in years past. So here you've got smooth movement with the dog and the bird. The bumblebee is also using math here, but it's also using a random number to give a little bit of a bounce. Definitely got at least 3 sprites, and you've got your properties taken care of. All right, next. This one has got, you've got your character right here turning cartwheels, so that's using a rotation. Then words are spinning. That's kind of cool. Again, I will tell you, go ahead and look at the video on Schoology if you want to make text spin or move. The sun is rotating here as well. And then that ladybug has that random number here in its Y value to create that bouncing type of movement. All right, this one, awesome, utilizing Dory. As you look, you see that the bubbles are moving upward. You've got Nemo moving to the right. And then we have this plant down here is what's using this random shaking kind of movement. And here's the last one. Okay, this one, snowflakes are going completely horizontal in different directions, and the kid is shaking. So it can be as simple as that kind of movement, a random number and some math. Okay, got to see your text. There you go. The one thing that, if you're having trouble getting your text to show up, and I didn't have you add this in your notes, but inside the draw loop, okay, if you use a plain color for your background, you would put that background command, which is right here, background color. If you're utilizing that, that goes on the inside of your draw loop at the top. All your movement stuff, and then your draw sprites. However, text needs to go after the draw sprites. If you're utilizing shapes, you might need to drag, if you have ellipses or rectangles, you might need to grab those as well and put those inside your draw loop after the draw sprites, okay? So your job today, as I've mentioned, is getting into lesson 14, making sure you've got these requirements met, okay? These are posted in Schoology, so you can reference them there. And then as you are working your way through lesson 14, on level 2, you draw the background. 3, you add your sprites. On 4, you add your text. On 5, that's where you're going to add your draw loop and start dragging things inside. And then do your final check on that last level. And on level 6 is where you'll see submit. All right. You have the whole hour to work. Okay. And again, use Schoology as a reference for your checklist. All right. Good luck. And I'm excited to see what you come up with.